Hey guys, today's play Virtua Fighter 3 TB. This is the port of Virtua Fighter 3 to the Dreamcast, which came out in 1999, and it's probably considered to be the kind of the OG 3D fighting game series. Virtua Fighter came out first with a 3D fighter. Tekken kind of followed after. Tekken eventually became more popular than Virtua Fighter, but for a while they were kind of rivals in the arcades, that is. But yeah, Tekken eventually won the console game, and nowadays you see new Tekken games, but you don't see new Virtua Fighter games anymore, sadly. So, anyways, Virtua Fighter 3, I haven't played too much Virtua Fighter. Overall, it was on mostly Sega systems, and then it kind of died off because it wasn't as popular as Tekken or the other fighting games. But yeah, let's do normal mode here. So a few fighters here: Akira, Pai-chan, Lao-chan, Wolf Hawkfield. He's from Canada, huh? Jeffrey McWild, Cage Maru, Takarashi, Ioi, Lion, Shindy, Jackie Bryant, and Sarah Bryant. Okay, I'm gonna go with let's go with the Chinese girl here, Pai-chan. Kind of reminds me of Xiaoyan from Dead or Alive, actually. Yeah, she reminds me of Xiaoyan from Dead or Alive. But anyways, yeah, let's go with the typical Chinese girl here. The thing about Virtua Fighter that I guess I wasn't really into Virtua Fighter, or Street Fighter for that matter, because I don't think the characters are that interesting. I go based off of characters. I know like gameplay is more important and stuff, and you know, Street Fighter obviously was the OG fighting game series that made it popular. The whole genre, I mean, was started with Street Fighter 2, and then Virtua Fighter was the OG 3D fighting game. I know these games are influential, but personally, I just never got into Street Fighter or Virtua Fighter. They don't have as interesting characters compared to something like BlazBlue or Guilty Gear or Soul Calibur. Those are all more interesting fighting games to me. Or even Tekken had a few more interesting characters. Like, although Tekken wasn't one of my favorite fighting game series either. At least they had more interesting characters than Virtua Fighter. But yeah, maybe that's why Virtua Fighter. I mean, it was very popular in the arcades, but in home consoles, it was never as popular as Tekken. Unfortunately, I mean, Sega Saturn really was that console didn't really do well. That was kind of and you know, Dreamcast. I think that's part of the reason, right? Sega Saturn and Dreamcast were not popular home consoles, and thus Virtua Fighter was never a popular game for home consoles because those home consoles failed. And of course, Virtua Fighter being a Sega property, were only released on Saturn and Dreamcast. It wasn't released on PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2, so I think that's part of the reason. Tekken became more popular because it was simply on the more popular systems, that being the Sony PlayStation. Whereas the Sega systems, Saturn and Dreamcast, were just never as popular, so that's why I guess Virtua Fighter was never as popular as Tekken at home. In the arcades, though, I'm not sure. I wasn't at the arcades when I was a kid very much, but supposedly in the arcades, Tekken and Virtua Fighter were pretty neck and neck. But when it came to home consoles, obviously Tekken won that. But yeah, I don't know. Virtua Fighter, the characters just seem kind of bland to me. Even this Pai character, she's like supposed to be this typical Chinese girl fighter. Pretty bland. Yeah. Xiaoyan from Dead or Alive or Xianghua from Soul Calibur had more character, I think, than Pai. Oh, okay. No, Cage, you're a stereotypical ninja guy. Reminds me of Hayabusa from Dead or Alive. I wonder how much inspiration Dead or Alive took from Virtua Fighter. Probably a lot, right? I noticed the characters are like... The characters from Dead or Alive are mostly similar to Virtua Fighter, except obviously they made the characters more sexier, gave more girls and stuff, made the breasts bigger. But yeah, Dead or Alive is really just Virtua Fighter with more chicks. I think.
Fight 2, ready, go!
Oh man, okay. Wanna do that, huh? obviously you can still play Virtua Fighter games in Yakuza games. So if, you know, Yakuza is a popular franchise, and often they put a lot of Sega games in their in-game arcade. Virtua Fighter being one of them. It's usually Virtua Fighter 2 though. I don't think I've seen Virtua Fighter 3 in Yakuza games. Usually they put Virtua Fighter 2 in there.
Fight 4. Ready, go!
Fight 4. This is a 5-game series, mate. Oh. Come on. What's that? Some kind of... Characters always jump like they're on the moon. Yeah, 5-game series. Alright, this is the deciding fight. Those characters always jump like they're on the moon, man. Aw. Damn it. Okay, I'm lost. Oh my god, look at my face. Looks so bad. Yeah, it looks bad. Nope. Then I go back to main screen. Make your move when your opponent's in the air. Okay. Anyways, guys, I'm not gonna play too much of this one. I'm not really too interested in Virtua Fighter. But yeah, Virtua Fighter 3 TV. What I can say is that I know that this fighting game series is a pioneer of 3D fighting games. It's the OG fighting game series, but I personally have never really got much into it. The characters just don't seem that interesting to me compared to other fighting game series. So yeah, maybe that's why it's not like too interesting to me. Like I've always preferred to play like Dead or Alive or even Tekken, BlazBlue, Soul Calibur, Guilty Gear. Yeah, any of those other ones over Virtua Fighter. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe even I'm not a big fan of Street Fighter, but maybe even Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat. Not that I'm a big fan of those ones, but yeah. Anyways, I recognize this series is groundbreaking and deserves its place in fighting game history. But yeah, personally never been a fan of Virtua Fighter much. But anyways, guys, Virtua Fighter 3 TV, thanks for watching. And oh yeah, the 3D graphics are pretty good. Not quite as good as Dead or Alive 2 or Soul Calibur on the Dreamcast. But yeah, 3D graphics are okay. Yeah, Virtua Fighter of course pioneered the 3D fighting game genre, but I think on this system, on the Dreamcast, there are better looking 3D fighters like yeah, Soul Calibur and Dead or Alive 2 as mentioned. And furthermore, I rather actually prefer the 2D fighting games like King of Fighters or even Street Fighter 3 or Marvel vs. Capcom or Capcom vs. SNK on the system. The old 2D fighting games, which I kind of prefer more actually. Just prefer 2D fighters a little bit more over 3D fighters. I think 2D fighters have more charm to them. But yeah, anyways, that's it. Nothing against Virtua Fighter. Just not a big fan of it. Thanks for watching. Oh yeah, another game is Project Justice. I think Project Justice is a more fun game than Virtua Fighter as well, and also on the Dreamcast. So that's another one to mention.